What is up, you guys? It's Connor here, back at it with another YouTube video. I'm out here in Jupiter, Florida with a good buddy of mine, Nick Bailey.
Yo!
And we're sending it out today spearfishing, so hopefully we get tight. What are you thinking?
Bro, I'm thinking we look for some cobias, look for some snappers, yellow jacks, everything in between. Weather isn't really perfect today. You guys see there's some big old storm clouds right there. But we're headed out, going deep, looking for some big fish.
Yeah, we're gonna try it out. We'll see what happens. We don't really got too big of a game plan here, but we're just gonna go out, try to kill some fish. And yeah, we also got some friends here joining us.
Hey guys!
Oh yeah. But we'll see you guys out there on the first spot. Let's do it. Just arrived to the first spot, and me and Nick are just on top of the water, basically floating, being as mellow and as calm as possible, taking his deep breaths, and basically getting a bunch of oxygen into our body so that we're ready for this dive that's coming up. Nick's gonna go down first. I'm gonna stay on top, watch him, be a good dive partner, be a good dive buddy, and then I'll take my dive. Something that I want to point out, just diver safety. When you're diving with a buddy, you always want to be diving with a buddy, but when you are diving with a buddy, you want to make sure you keep contact with them the whole time, or as best as you can, and that's what I'm doing here with Nick. So just something to keep in mind if you guys dive. Just a quick tip. First drop for me here, going down, being as mellow as possible, tucking my chin down to my chest, and just swimming straight down. As I get down here to the bottom, you can see there's a ton of kudas, and what we're working here is just a nice ledge. It's in about 70 feet, goes off to about 80 feet, and there's a bunch of bait on it, as you guys can see, which really is a good sign. Usually there's a lot of fish when there's a lot of bait, and I'm just looking for a nice, mutton snapper or mangrove snapper. Don't see nothing on this dive, so I head right back up. Phew. Second dive here for me, headed down, and I'm just working the same ledge as I was working in the previous clip. Still a bunch of bait, still a bunch of life on the ledge, so I'm pretty hyped going down here. I'm thinking I'm gonna see something nice, and I'm just scanning around. I see those 3 sheep's head there. I'm thinking, if I don't see anything, I'm gonna pluck one. Scanning, don't see nothing, and take a shot at the biggest sheep's head and start swimming up. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm actually braining the fish, and what this does is it actually puts the fish out of its misery as quick as possible, and then I'll actually stick my knife in its gills and bleed him as well.
Ready? Second try.
Alright, let's get some more. Making my way down on the next drop. We switch spots a little bit now. We're diving a wreck, and something actually comes up and surprises me here. I didn't have too long to make my decision, and I realized I really wanted some fresh smoked fish dip. And if you guys know what this fish is in here coming into the screen, it's very good for fish dip. It's called an amberjack, also known as a reef donkey. They put up an absolute fight on rod and reel, and they do the same with the spear gun, honestly. So I was glad I put a nice holding shot right behind his head. Honestly, would have liked it a little bit more forward, but it did the job. And I started swimming up. My buddy Bailey's going down, giving me a hand, being a good dive buddy. And yeah, we started getting them up to the surface here. So I get up to the surface. Nick hands me my line, and I just want to start just absolutely horsing this fish in, because there's a lot of predators down there at the seafloor, and they will actually eat your catch. Nick going down here to put in a second shot, which is very smart of him, because we didn't know, these fish put a lot of pressure on the line, especially when you're horsing them up, and that shaft tends to dig out. So he's trying to get a second shot in there. He's just squirming around. He actually missed, which happens, especially when they're squirming like that. No big deal. One thing that I definitely want to mention is line management in this situation. If you guys can tell, there's a lot of line out on my spool. I just shot that fish at about 60 feet and I had to swim directly straight up. So a lot of line dumped out my spool, and you just want to make sure you keep that line away from your body. Don't get it wrapped up on yourself, because remember what I said, there are predators, and if that line gets wrapped up on you and a predator grabs that fish, you are screwed. You're going to get dragged down to the bottom and you're done. Nick comes in here with a nice knife shot. Appreciate it, brother. That's what buddies are for. And yeah, just a nice successful dive. Got a nice fish for some smoked fish dip. Stoked.
Needed him for the smoker. Yeah. There you go.
Very next dive here for me, we switch spots once again, and this spot's just got a bunch of rubble on the bottom, all types of different stuff, and it holds a lot of bait, holds a lot of fish. So yeah, make my way down here to the bottom, scanning it as usual, looking around, trying to find a nice fish. We got that amberjack, but we're looking for some snapper. And as you guys can see, I point out a nice snapper here, or I see a nice mangrove snapper here. Not a giant, but we'll take them for sure. They only got to be 12 inches, and that was definitely a 12 incher. So take a shot on them, hit them right in the dome, and start swimming up. Same process with this fish, brain and bleed. The brain gets him out of his misery as quick as possible, and the bleed helps get all the blood out of the meat and just makes that meat taste 100% better, in my opinion. So since I got a snapper on the last drop, I figured why not go back down there and give it another shot. Usually when there's one snapper, there's going to be multiple, and in this case I may have been right, I may have been wrong. You guys will see in just a second. But scanning right now, just looking around. You guys can see it's a little bit, the viz is not the best, it's a little bit fuzzy, but like I said earlier, when there's usually one, there's usually more. And here's another mangrove snapper coming into the screen. Take a shot and smoke them in the head. Start swimming up. Boom! Just made it to the top. And for whatever reason, I didn't really get any more content for the rest of the day. We ended up just shooting the sheep's head and the 2 mangrove snappers and the amberjack, and that was it. So yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys like the videos like this, comment down below you liked it. If you guys have new ideas, you guys want to see me do something new, comment down that as well. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, y'all stay safe out there on the water. Peace.